supported by 3FM 92.7 Accra.
Hello and welcome to Hot Issues. Have you heard about West Papua? Where is it? What are the concerns of its people? Is it one of those countries struggling for national liberation 59 years after Ghana became independent? Welcome to Hot Issues. Hello and welcome back to Hot Issues. And as I indicated earlier, today we are taking a look at West Papua. Where is it? What is the size of its population? What are some of the burning issues on the world's largest island? Why is it that West Papua is at the center of what some describe as a controversy? And we are very, very privileged today to have with us in the studio the man who has become the foremost advocate of West Papua's independence, Chief Benny Wenda. Chief, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Now, Chief, where is West Papua? What about West Papua? Is it the same as Papua New Guinea? Is it a different country? What is West Papua?
Yeah, West Papua is the western half of the New Guinea, whole island called New Guinea. New Guinea is north of Australia. It's just 500 kilometers from, but West Papua and Papua New Guinea is different because we are different colonies. The same people, they're black people, but two colonial power divided. Then Papua New Guinea now is a British colony, and they got independent in 1975. West Papua is a Dutch colony. It's sadly from one colonial power handed over another colonial power now, which is Indonesia, invade 1963 militarily until today still holding it, and they able to massacre my people. I always call it genocide committed by Indonesian military. 500,000 men and women and children been killed until today. Why? Indonesia look at the West Papua as subhuman. We are different color. That's why they don't want to, world finding out, particularly our brother and sister in Africa continent. We are African.
How did Africans find their way to the Pacific?
The history, this is one thing, a very important story that our ancestors telling that we come from very far from that way. They call, there's a few of us, but we can walk faster. That's the history. It's not, we are oral, African history are oral. We don't have any scientists to, but the history passed generation to generation. And now we know that we are the first people, first ancestor leave this continent to went down to New Guinea. And then spread to, from New Guinea, they settle in New Guinea, and then they spread they cross the Pacific. So that for sure no one deny, and that's why Indonesia call us monkey from Africa. And we thought it's normal, yeah? And then sometime they call us Negroids, and that's, at the time we don't know why they're calling us, and now we discover, I myself discover myself where who I am.
So you are Africans in the Pacific.
Yes.
Now, what are the special features of West Papua, or if you like, Guinea, in the Pacific?
West Papua, now we want to free from Indonesia. That's the main struggle we are fighting because, I'm coming to the Ghana is again the spirit because the revolution started here under the leadership of Kwame Nkrumah, and the Kwame Nkrumah is like he's a leader of the liberate people who are fighting for the colonialism, imperialism. So that's why, for me, coming to Ghana is a blessing, you know, and this is very important. That's why the people of West Papua are looking at Ghana, because historically, the Ghana who in 1969 stood up in United Nations to oppose the Indonesia illegal occupation in West Papua, and you know that's a so-called act of free choice. But we West Papua call act of no choice, because what happened at the time, since Indonesia occupied 1963, and in 1969 we were forced to vote joining Indonesia because of pressure from the big power like Britain, Australia, and US. So that's why we call that's unfair, and we more campaigning. But since then, Indonesia able to suppress my people.
But what are the special features of West Papua? What has it got? What is it? You know, if we talk about the special features of Ghana, we'll probably be talking about its mineral wealth and so on. What are the special features of West Papua?
West Papua is a richest country, very rich, gold and timber and minerals, oil and gas. So the world needs our resources. They don't really care about my people because we are maybe primitive, we are black. That's why they need our resources, and the Indonesia need our resources. We are feeding Indonesia because of our resources, and that's the most the Indonesia want. They already state that we don't need you. We don't need you. If you want to find another island, go to the moon or add a god, or go to America, or go to Pacific, or go to other planets to seeking your settle there. But we need your resources. That's what one of the General Sutopo said. That's why we are not surprised. They just want to wipe out my people. That's for sure. But a very rich country, and in fact that there is the company called Freeport McMoran, owned by Anglo-American, and shareholder is British and Australia, and also now the biggest oil company, BP, in West Papua. So I always said, look, you are operating middle of the genocide. Indonesia committed genocide. My people are suffering, and you are operating in the middle of the genocide. That you, other hand, you promote democracy. And also I always say, Indonesia, you pretending to be a good guy in the Asia, but what happening to what you're doing toward my people? It just is you came out from in the Dutch colonialism, and then you doing same thing. You know, I call Indonesia is an apartheid, little apartheid in the Pacific, and because it's South Africa, they liberate themselves from the anti-apartheid movement, and now same thing Indonesia are doing in toward, because we are different.
Now, sir, what is the population of West Papua?
This is the population. Talking about population, 1970, whole island, New Guinea, Papua New Guinea and West Papua, is a 50-50. Now the population, Papua New Guinea, 7.5 million. They more grow, but West Papua, from 2.5 million, the number is never increased, because Indonesia able to kill 500,000. Where the 400,000 they're gone when you comparison. So that's why I right to declare that Indonesia committed genocide, and I know that our brother and sister will find out more. But this is I already declared that Indonesia committed. They're against the international law Indonesia doing in West Papua. Why you never hear this? Because Indonesia able to ban the journalists, Amnesty International, Red Cross, International Peace Brigade. In world history, West Papua are banned, totally banned the journalists entering to West Papua.
So you have a population of about 2.5 million.
Plus migrants.
And you claim that 500,000 people, 500,000 West Papuans have been murdered.
Have been murdered while I'm speaking. It's still killing still continues.
In what period have 500,000 people been murdered in West Papua? What is the period?
As soon as they invade 1963 until today, that is my estimation. But there is a lot of religious leader already investigate, because the 95% are West Papuan Christians, and so this is my Amnesty International already investigate. They want to continue investigate, but Indonesia ban, and Amnesty International investigate 100,000 are being killed. But then now more and more people being killed, and I always ask Indonesia, if you claim democracy, let independent investigation investigate, even UN, to investigate West Papua, the committed genocide. Indonesia totally banned. Why is that? Why? That's my question.
So why have 500,000 West Papuans been killed? What did they do? Were they engaged in acts of war? Why have 500,000 West Papuans been killed?
1977 in Indonesia bombing my village. I lost my grandparent, my family, I lost. It's almost 300,000 already been killed. That is using Indonesia, using the bomb. Then the systematically Indonesia killing my people, and some of them displacement, some of them just killing on the spot, and every Papuan's leader and murder in the prison or any on the street. If you have a drug law, if you have a beer, you know, you are looking at the separatists, they can sort you. One example, one of the leader, great leader, my uncle called Mako Tabuni, he's a very prominent leader. He was killed on the spot just simply because of peacefully leading. And one of the leader called Thais Eloy, he is also assassinated by Indonesia. The next target, me, and they trying to kill me 3 times in the prison. And then I managed to run. This is where they're in prison or where they're on the street, you could be killed.
Now, are you a chief? Are you the chief of West Papua, or you are one of the chiefs in West Papua?
I'm a chief of the Kolani tribe, the biggest tribe in the New Guinea, and whole Pacific is my tribe is biggest. So I'm a chief of my tribe, Lani. And political reason, I also lead all the chief because I political reason mobilize all the chiefs and elders to fight for our independence. Also, I'm an independent leader, and also I'm United Liberation Movement spokesperson. We have a 3 main group inside West Papua. We had a biggest meeting in Vanuatu, facilitated by Vanuatu government, and so it's all 40 years we fight because of geography reasons and because biggest country. So we have different group fighting one cause, one under one flag, but then we come united, and then we form a group called United Liberation Movement. And that the first time the Melanesian country recognized, and this is a breakthrough all the diplomatic lobbies, so they recognize as one of the country that waiting. So for us it's 57 years we're fighting, and our enemy always divided one another, but now we are collectively, all the leaders agree that we are one. So this is what we're doing. Then since then, all the Pacific leaders are already recognized, and that's something that they need to speak out, because that's a regional issue. Melanesia is made up of the Papua New Guinea, Solomon Island, Vanuatu, Fiji, and New Caledonia. New Caledonia, by the way, is still under French colony, but they're still also fighting. And you got the Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesia. So we are the Melanesia is a black island called Black Island. And I'm sure some other brothers and sisters in Africa continent know, because I'm former British colony. But West Papua is cut off from the brothers and sisters. It's a blank.
So now you are the leader and spokesperson of the United Liberation Movement of West Papua.
Yes.
Now this movement, where does it exist? Well, where is its presence? Is it in West Papua? Is it outside West Papua? Because you are in exile.
Yes, these three leaders inside West Papua. We have opening office in West Papua recently before I came here, but Indonesia trying to close that office. In fact, that Indonesia also, what they call, they are also member of the MST, and we are observer there, but Indonesia don't want it. But our main leader inside, also three main group leader inside, and two of us, Secretary General and myself, we are exiled. Because in West Papua, you know, we're very difficult to Papuan come out. We are a prison. We are slave. We're like fighting in this room. It's 58 years fighting like this room, but only way we escape. Then we brought the message to out here. So two of us, one of the leader live in exile in United States. He's Octavianus Mota. He's the Secretary General. Myself, I'm exiled in UK. So we both working very hard, but in our people in back home. In fact, that my visit here, everybody come out on the street, and that it's not only one particular place, but every district, every province, they raise, you know, Ghana, we need you, because the history. You talking to other Africa, they don't know, but Ghana and South Africa, because of South Africa, they are all fighting for the anti-apartheid movement. That's well known in West Papua, and Ghana is very long time, very long, because of Ghana is a big play in 1969 United Nations. In fact, that under Chairman Rawlings leadership, one of 4 elder was seeking asylum here. The four elder, they're still alive. They're still in Netherlands. They claim asylum here because of one of the Ghanaian ambassador, not ambassador for the UNHCR in Papua New Guinea. So he took them. Okay, these are my people. Send them to Ghana. And that elder came here in 1986. Then 1990 back to the Netherlands, former colony. So it's a long traditional, connection there. And in fact, that I finding out that a lot of Ghanaian lecturer also teaching in Papua New Guinea, and that's make me, I'm coming here. It's like my home.
Now you have been recognized by the Pacific nations. What other recognition have you gained since you began your struggle for independence?
Yeah, since they recognize West Papua as a member of the MSD, and then first time Vanuatu Prime Minister raised issue last year in United Nations, brought this message to United Nations. This is the first time. In the Pacific, Tonga Prime Minister raised the West Papua issue in United Nations last year. So this is a recognition already there, and now all the Melanesian leaders are more saying that this is regional issue, this is our brother, because West Papua not free. It's one of the leader in Vanuatu, former Prime Minister Hamlin, he said, if West Papua not free, Melanesia not free. Like Kwame Nkrumah said, if Ghana is free, but if black people, all the colony not free, we are not free. Or Africa continent not free, this is not free. So I think that is inspiration word to repeat it in the Pacific, particularly in Melanesia. So now they adopt West Papua as a major issue in the region, and that's diplomatically recognized by the Melanesian leader.
You keep talking about Melanesian, West Papua and so on. What's the connection? Are West Papuans Malay speaking. What is it?
Melanesia.
Melanesia.
Melanesia is black island, so that's why we identify ourselves, the Melanesia, as a black people in the Melanesia. The African, but they are in the regional context they call Melanesia because they renamed this black people, black island. Melanesia and not Malaysia is different. That the Asia, they are Malay people, but we are Melanesians.
Which simply means that we are black people.
Yes.
We are black people.
Yes.
Now, Chief, we're going to take a short break here. When we come back, I'd like us to explore something else. The African Union has declared the African diaspora as a region of Africa. To what extent is this impacting on the struggle for independence of West Papua? That's when we come back from the break.
Thank you.
Well, listeners, we are talking to Chief Benny Wenda, the most prominent advocate of West Papuan independence, who is in Ghana, and we're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll explore the African Union and the African diaspora and how that may impact on your struggle. Short break. Hello, welcome back to Hot Issues, and we are in conversation with Chief Benny Wenda from West Papua, and he is described as the leading advocate of West Papuan independence. Before we went on the break, I asked about how the declaration of the African diaspora as a region of Africa could impact on the struggles of the West Papuans for national liberation.
Yeah, I think this is very significant for West Papua because we are African descent and in Melanesia and in the Pacific, and it's really because, for example, African Union is big for African continent, but then also African diaspora. West Papua is a part of the issue that African Union could help, you know, because all the African continent free themselves from the colonialism, but West Papua we are still colonized by Indonesia, under Indonesia. So the African Union could play big player in the global, regional level and global level because you have a voice, you have a been experience to a lot of things that free other brother and sister in Africa, within African continent. But the West Papua, even very far, but the history, because we are same sentiment, you know, like free from the colonialism, imperialism, and racism, discrimination. My people are facing discrimination, racism. We are different. That's why Indonesia treat my people differently. And I think this is, nobody can speak about West Papua unless African Unions, and started here in Ghana because Ghana is first free from the colonialism, and that's why my spirit always in Ghana.
Now, in 1969, Ghana apparently led the struggle for the declaration of West Papua as an independent state. Why did we fail? Why did Ghana fail?
Yeah, at the time, because of under pressure, big power like United Nations, UN, US, United States, United States, and like Britain, Australia, and why? Because Indonesia play clever game. West Papua, because Indonesia they claim West Papua is a former Dutch colony. Even Dutch say that Indonesia got independent from the Dutch in 1945. West Papua never part of the Indonesia, totally not. In that say, no, these people are different. They are to do with the Pacific. They are black. Aboriginal is something to do with the Melanesian people. They are the same, geographically, culturally, identically, they are different. They are black, different. So they got it. They are still holding. But Indonesia claim, no, all the Dutch Indies is automatic to us. Then if that's not give West Papua to us, we will join Cold War. They threat America. Okay, if you not give West Papua to us, we will join Cold War. And then big power like Britain, Australia, and they pressurized Dutch government to hand it over Indonesia. Then UNHCR went to West Papua, admin led with at the time. And because that's just interest, first they interest our resources. Then 1969 referendum, just formality. It didn't meet international standard. That's why Ghana stood up. This is not fair. This is not fair. Didn't, according to international standard, one man, one vote. Didn't just random elder 20,000 out of 1 million population. That's why Ghana stood up. But then also the big power pressure all the other country. And Ghana didn't do much because pressure. I think that's what happened.
But how come that only Ghana saw the light in 1969? I mean, there were several other independent African states. They could have rallied to the support of Ghana. They did not in the United Nations General Assembly.
Yeah, Ghana stood up because at the time, Kwame Nkrumah is seen as a father of liberator, and they're proud. And West Papua is still, you know, we are the same colonial power, same people ruling Africa, and they went down to the New Guinea and Melanesian people. And there is a number of countries, 30 countries stood up, and 12 other countries are absent. And so it's a little bit of, you know, Ghana did like he can do. It did. So it's really, really pushing, but again, the big power really want Indonesia at their side. They don't want Indonesia go to Russia or join the Cold War. And then we are sacrificing our right to self-determination because of sake of the geopolitics in that region. So, and then, but Ghana proposed that need to amend that vote, and must be new referendum in 1970 something. But that's still open, and then we discovered that history already there. So that's why West Papua, Ghana stood up that at the time. And then now my people come back to that question, why they're open, then why? That's why myself and my people are coming back to campaign more, to highlight this issue. Our right to self-determination still exists. And then I launching international lawyer for West Papua, international parliamentarian for West Papua. This parliamentarian are joining from all around the world, and also this lawyer from all around the world. Lawyer already stated in Indonesia not right under international law. The legal is West Papua side. Politics are changed, but legal, strongly legal in our side.
Now, concretely, what do you expect from the African Union and African people everywhere? What do you expect from the African Union? What do you expect, for example, from African American organizations in the United States of America? What is your expectation? Because Indonesia committed genocide, and that's why I'm coming to Africa to seeking the support. Free my people from Indonesia government. That's first. And second, you have a big voice in Africa Union. For example, you can challenge the United Nations and bring this issue, because the UN can say this is only 30 years ago, but killing is continue. Genocide is continue. And while I'm speaking, that's why whatever you are Africans, this is what Kwame Nkrumah say, all African descent, whether you are North America or South America or Caribbean or Africa or all African all around the world, you are African. That's why this is a very significant word to African, because there's a two colonial power we are fighting, Western Sahara and West Papua. So this must be our Africa brother and sister across the world could put their voice to liberate us, because
colonialism is finished, but colonialism not finished. West Papua, we are still fighting colonialism. It's not overthrow the power. When I grew up, my childhood, I seen it, my people being killed.
Now, you've spoken about a genocide in which 500,000 people from West Papua have been killed. What is the general human rights situation in West Papua? What rights are being violated beyond the right to life? What is the concrete situation in West Papua?
One thing that we don't have any freedom to speak publicly. We don't have any freedom. For example, when you go into the garden, you always go with the fear. Whether you don't have any identity card, you will be killed. Or go to fishing, you will be killed. And human rights situation in West Papua under the current president, more worse and worse. The last year alone, there is a 23 Papuans. This is I'm talking about young generation, not 50 years, 20 years old. It's a 16, 17 years old. Students were killed by Indonesia on the spot. Everybody can see it, but no one brought the justice.
What did they do to be killed?
Just simply, they suspicious. They're suspicious because now young generation in West Papua coming out on the street. They put the banner freedom. You cannot use the West Papua freedom in the banner. You will be killed. But this young generation are coming out on the street, put this risk their life, and some of them being killed. And this is the human rights situation in West Papua, really, really terrible. Also, the young women being raped, young men will kill, and this is happening. And we don't have any media to cover it, all those. Only what they're doing now in this young generation, they just, with the smartphone, very long distance, they recorded, they just posted on Facebook. That's what we get. But all 50 years, you cannot get any journalist to access in West Papua. So only way, just text message to me directly, and then we publish our media, like social media, Facebook, and the website. Yeah.
The United Nations is very active in Western Sahara, which is similar to your situation. What is the extent of UN involvement in West Papua?
There is, in terms of UN, one of the human rights preventions, Hina Yunani, visit West Papua. She said, there's only once, just few hours. All this NGO group, UN represent, Indonesia not allow, totally banned. It's very difficult. I don't know Western Sahara case.
NGOs, UN officials and so on are banned from entering West Papua, by Indonesia.
Yes.
And they also ban journalists from entering West Papua.
Yes, yes, ban journalists. In fact, that all the fact-finding missions trying to apply to visit West Papua, even journalists apply visa to entering West Papua. There is a few journalists organized by Indonesia government, but they are monitored. You have to go with the Indonesia official. They need to just certain thing, the development, report development, how they're good, what they're doing toward West Papua. But independent journalists or any journalist, they're not allowed, even BBC and also ABC. They can allow that certain place, just so traditional. Like me, I put my tie, I put headdress, whatever. Sometimes Indonesia uses like tourist attraction. We are becoming a zoo of Indonesia benefit, zoo. So that's the situation.
Now we are in 2016, and we struggled for 50 years to get independence. How do you assess the extent of your success? How successful have you been in 50 years of struggle for independence?
Within West Papua, there's people are coming out on the street, and the elder who are in the bush from 1970 until today. They just holding the bow and arrow. They just defend the land, defend the right to their village. But internationally, since few elders escaped, then we're more campaigning to highlight the issue of West Papua, right to self-determination. I myself, in the UK, when the British government and British people allow me to stay there, to the safety reason, then I use that freedom to highlight the campaign for the freedom for my people. And I launching international parliamentarian for West Papua in British Parliament. This is a parliamentarian group around the world to raise their own country, the situation in West Papua. And since then, I established a campaign called Free West Papua campaign all around the world. In fact, that in Ghana, our brother Jomo Huta, who's also just little way, he started last year, and then he trying to raise this issue in here in Ghana. So I've been in South Africa, and we're launching this just for the raise the awareness for raising this issue. And I'm traveling to Caribbean, just seeking help and support from my brother and sister, whether in diaspora and all around the world.
Now, it is said that West Papua is perhaps the richest land in the world. You have gold, you have a virgin forest, you have oil, you have gas, you have so many other things. Who is exploiting these resources now?
Indonesia government, our main facilitator, and this company is a British company. I call BP Rio Tinto in West Papua, and Freeport McMoran is owned by American, based in New Orleans, and Rio Tinto, owned by Australia, British. So they're operating in West Papua, in my country, but working with Indonesia government. That's why my argument, why this company working with the illegal occupier, which is Indonesia. Indonesia massacre my people. Why this dealing with the people who are operating occupied land? And so the Indonesia claim West Papua, I always said, illegal under the international law. Indonesia presence in West Papua is illegal.
Have you thought about applying international law in the resolution of this problem in West Papua? For example, if genocide is being committed, are you considering the ICC, as a remedy?
I hope that's one thing that we're looking at, yes, because there is a lot of evidence. In fact, that a huge report by Asians and also Asian human rights based in Hong Kong, and also law faculty in US and Sydney, said slow genocide committed by Indonesia, and that's a lot of evidence. And we hope that there is people out there that could support this. Particularly, we need the country could support us, because we are not a country. We are still fighting for the that cause. So we hope that any country could offer to lend their support, and then we can challenge Indonesia, because they committed genocide. This is not something that is over the throw of the power, but this is state committed genocide toward my people.
Well, viewers, we are talking to Chief Benny Wenda, a chief of West Papua, and also perhaps the strongest advocate of West Papuan independence. We're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, I'd like to find out why you are in Ghana now, and what you've been able to do in Ghana since your arrival. Short break. Hello, welcome back to Hot Issues, and we are in conversation with Chief Benny Wenda, the most prominent advocate of West Papuan independence, who is in Ghana, and we're exploring, all the issues issues around West Papua and independence. Now, sir, what brings you to Ghana?
Coming to Ghana is for me is a long dream with my people, because first I come to Ghana, gain the spirit from the people of Ghana, a chief, an elder, a religious leader, and all people of, whether you young or elder or children or women, I want to, their spirit, seeking their spirit, because the liberation from colonialism started here under leadership of the Kwame Nkrumah. That is main mission to here. And second, Ghana play a big role in 1969, our history in United Nations 1960. That's why I want to seeking the advice from anybody could assist, whether the government or whether chief or elder and everybody, like academic, like yourself. That's what I'm here to seeking their support. Because my people are cry 58 years, very long time. As a human level, I always thinking, why world ignored my people? And only people of Ghana have experienced, liberate themselves from colonialism. Then they understand me, what I've been through with my people. That's why I'm here. Just seeking the spirit, blessing, that's very important for me too. And I will send a message back to my people.
Now, the media has reported that you've already met former President Jerry John Rawlings. What was the meeting like?
Oh, meeting Chairman Rawlings is a blessing, because, you know, keep going, keep knocking, that's what he said. Keep knocking, keep moving. It will come, time will come, just like us here in Ghana. So I think that's a powerful message for me. That's good for me to carry that message. I'm not going to sleep. This is once. Even I sleep nice bed. Even I eat good food. My stomach never full. I cannot sleep. My people still cry. Even you give a nice food, sometimes my stomach never full, because my people, I want to see my people smile. In fact, that yesterday, 9 years Ghana independent, I standing there emotions, you know, I'm hard cry. Today is Ghana 59 years independence celebrating with joy, and I hope one day my people could enjoy, they can holding their flag freely in West Papua, but at the moment not. And that flag, my flag, is Morning Star flag. You cannot holding that flag. You will end up 15 years, 20 years.
You mean, if you hold the West Papuan flag, you'll be sentenced to 15 years in prison?
Yes, I want to show, I always carry this flag, so I just want to show this flag is what they call a West Papua flag. Maybe I didn't think, just so. This is the, wherever I go, I'll always carry this flag. This is the Morning Star. If you're holding this flag in West Papua, you ended up 15 years, 25 years. I myself, holding this flag, lead peacefully in West Papua. 2000, I was charged 25 years, and I've been 2 years in prison, and I managed to run away because 3 times they're trying to assassinate me in prison. That's why. So this is the banned flag. So that's why I saw the Ghanaian flag. You know, I holding that flag, and I feel I'll be part of witnessing how people of Ghana enjoy their freedom. And I just, one day, on the tears, one day I want to see my people can smile to holding their flag proudly. Yeah.
Now, it has also been reported that you met former President John Agyekum Kufuor. Is that true?
Yes, I did meet former President Kufuor, and he's also one word he said, this is the amazing word. He said, you are African. That's make me, you know, something that I'm right place to be here, and yeah, he's welcoming me with open heart, and yeah, for me to, there's no word to say, just meeting both leader are blessing, and I also meeting with former leader of the Christian Council, and his prayer for me, that's very enough for me. You know, I never dreamed to be welcomed like that, open heart, and so, yeah.
But why did you meet the leader of the Christian Council? Are you a Christian?
Yes, 95% West Papua are Christians, and you know, West Papua struggle is not Christian or Muslim, but what Indonesia doing toward West Papua, there's 2-3 reasons. First, we are different color. They treat my people as subhuman. Second, because maybe Indonesia seen as we are Christians, I don't know, they treat my people different, because in fact that in West Papua, before Indonesia come to West Papua, we are some of the traditionally Muslim. It's not because of Indonesia they bring the Muslim, but traditionally we have a Muslim in the one tribe called Fak. That we are our brother. We are fighting same cause. They also suffer. And thirdly, yeah, Indonesia look at us as I don't know, discriminate my people. That is simple as that. Discriminate my people. Many form of the discrimination, racism. That's what Indonesia doing toward my people.
Are there any lessons that you have learned from Ghana's own struggle for independence and during your short stay in Accra?
I've been, you know, only in for that far, we only hear the Kwame Nkrumah name, then his books we're reading. But now when I'm put my feet here, I learn a lot. Because many stories are they're united to fight this struggle to free from the British colony, and that give me inspiring. How can my people can unite it? And we already united, so it's no doubt. But I need the voice and blessing. That's most important.
What message do you have for the African people everywhere? What is your message to the African people?
African people, I am African, so I need the voice, to raise the voice wherever they are, to liberate my people from Indonesian colonialism. Whether you're in America or Caribbean or African continent or in the Pacific, I think the time for everybody united to liberate my people. Nobody can help because you understand, you've been through even that struggle I never part of, because I'm locked up in the prison 50 years. I don't know. But now I learned, and I learned myself and who I am, and even that's why I traveling to Caribbean, Africa, all this now here. So I need the support. You have a voice and raise this issue in your government or NGO, or all the chief in Africa continent can united to you know, edit their voice to free my people. That is really important, because nobody can speak about this issue.
How do you propose that the attitude of the big powers who frustrated Ghana's attempt in the United Nations to speed up the process of your independence, how do you propose that we deal with these big powers? What would change the attitude of the big powers to West Papua?
I think first, like United Nations, they already mistake. They break own law, own rule. This is world history. West Papua was also under the UN, they mistake. And big power also they are part of that. So whether they're trying to ignore it or because of their involvement they did wrong, but need to be corrected from UN level and big power. But that need to pressure coming from whether in Caribbean or African leader or Pacific leader is very important, because there is no pressure. They thought this is already gone, 50 years. But because of killing continue, imprisonment continue, rape, discrimination is still continuing in West Papua. That's why time now to edit the old voice and bring this case to UN level and pressure UN to review it. What happened in 1969? This is very important, because this history is never go away. We are still fighting for the freedom.
Are you interested in securing observer status at the AU?
Yes, that's what my aim one day, because we are African descent, and that is AU is stand for the African. So I hope that one day I hope African leader could welcoming me to the family, and that's my dream.
Well, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Very much for explaining the conditions in West Papua to our viewers.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, we've been talking to Chief Benny Wenda, who is a chief in West Papua, and is one of the strong advocates of West Papuan independence. Hope that we've all learned a thing or two. Hope that the significance of our own independence is also bearing on us. And please don't forget, stay with TV3, because it is the best. Best in news, best in current affairs, best in sports, best in everything.